We're just 6 weeks away from the launch of the iPhone 17 series, and the rumor mill is in overdrive. But among all the leaks and whispers, one detail has completely stolen the spotlight: the new orange color. Yes, I know it's just a new color, but when phones have matured, we really only care about the aesthetics nowadays, and leaker Sonny Dickson has shared dummy units that appear to reveal Apple's final color decisions. And while dummy models can sometimes be misleading due to lighting or pre-production materials, they often give us a very close preview of what's coming. So let's dive into what they show. Starting with the star of the show, the iPhone 17 Pro. According to the dummy models, the Pro series is coming in black, white, dark blue, and a brand new papaya orange. Yes, orange. And not burnt orange or subtle bronze like we saw teased in past concept renders, but a proper vibrant orange. It's not the kind of color Apple typically goes for with its Pro models, which tends to be more muted, understated, and industrial, but as someone who prefers much brighter colors, I'm a fan of this. But it's worth noting that early reports suggested this orange was actually more of a copper tone, something warmer and deeper. It's entirely possible that what looks overly bright in Dickson's images is simply a lighting issue. Dummy units are notorious for not capturing final finishes accurately, especially with Apple's layered anodization and subtle sheens. But if it turns out to be a deep copper orange, that's still a huge departure from recent Pro models. Remember, the iPhone 15 and 16 Pro series were limited to blue, desert, natural white, and black titanium, which are all muted finishes, but titanium is a difficult material to color, and that's why Apple stuck to those subdued tones. With the 17 Pro, we're reportedly switching to aluminium, and aluminium is far easier to anodize in vivid, saturated colors. It's lighter, cheaper to produce, and opens the door to more playful colors, which explains how we ended up with this orange. And honestly, I love it, guys. It has potential to be the best Pro finish since Sierra Blue in my opinion, and it gives the 17 Pro a visual identity because this orange is so different compared to previous Pro colors. I can also imagine this orange pairing well with the Apple Watch Ultra's accent tones. The other shades are a bit more familiar, black and white are the standard fare, and we have dark blue, which seems to be darker than Pacific Blue and Blue Titanium, and looks a little cheap, I can't lie, but to be honest, I don't think the dummy model is doing this color justice. Also absent is the rumored grey finish, but I'm sure you can imagine how a grey iPhone would look. I just wanted to get a glimpse at the orange, and we all know that's definitely going to be the hero color that Apple's going to focus in the marketing. Now let's talk about the iPhone 17 Air. This is Apple's new thin and light model that slots between the base 17 and 17 Pro, and color is a big part of its identity. The dummy models show the Air in black, white, gold, and a pale sky blue, and the last one is particularly interesting because it does match the M4 MacBook Air. Apple is clearly trying to unify the Air branding across product lines, and using the same color language is a clever way to do it. The sky blue shown here is soft, frosted, and cool, and perfectly fits an ultra-thin light iPhone. The gold is also worth highlighting. It's a light, almost champagne tone, not the deep brassy golds previous iPhones have offered. It also adds a bit of luxury to the Air range without going full Pro, and weirdly enough, the Air is only getting gold. There is no gold Pro model this year, despite that being a popular choice. As for the base 17, dummy models show it coming in black, white, blue, purple, though the purple is so light it kind of looks like pink, and also a green. That lines up pretty well with previous leaks suggesting the 17 is going to come in black, white, steel grey, light blue, purple, and green. Yes, steel grey is missing. It seems like Sonny could not get hold of grey dummy models in general, but again, I'm sure you can imagine what a grey base iPhone is going to look like. The blue on the base 17 is similar to the Air Sky Blue, but it's not identical, suggesting Apple's giving each model a slightly distinct finish. But now let's shift gears and talk about a different kind of leak, one that might have just given us our first glimpse at the iPhone 17 Pro in the wild. An ex-user going by the name Skyfops posted 2 blurry images taken in Los Angeles. In the photo, someone appears to be holding a mysterious iPhone wrapped in a thick black case. It's bulky, covered, and clearly hiding something, but here's the wild part. Next to it is another iPhone, almost certainly a 16 Pro, with a sticker across the back, and that sticker likely features Apple's internal QR codes used to track test units. But what's even more interesting, Bloomberg's Mark Gurman saw the photos and quote posted it, saying this looks legit. That's rare. Gurman doesn't usually comment on sketchy prototype leaks, so the fact he acknowledges it and says it might be legit does add some weight. If we look closely, the prototype's case seems to have a rectangular camera cutout with 3 large circular holes on the left and 2 smaller holes stacked vertically on the right. That lines up perfectly with previous leaks about the 17 Pro's new camera layout. Apple's reportedly shifting the flash LiDAR scanner microphone to a vertical arrangement beside the lenses, and this case design does support that. By the way, I want to hit pause just to remind you to hit that subscribe button because we're trying to hit 20,000 subscribers, so every sub would be appreciated, and obviously a sub to the channel gives you the latest Apple content right to your feed, so please consider it. Now, we can't confirm anything from a blurry image. This could easily be some sort of prank or even a case manufacturer testing dummy models, but the detail, the timing, and the fact that Apple employees do test unreleased devices in public before release, it does all add up, guys. In fact, the person who took this photo claimed that someone, possibly Apple security, tried to step in front of the iPhone to block the shots. That's expected Apple behavior. So does this leak confirm anything new? Not really, but it does reinforce everything we've been hearing. For example, the rectangular camera layout and also the prototype's camera rings appear to be white or silver, suggesting this could be the white or grey model. But imagine if this had been the orange, that would have been pretty cool to see in the flesh. And while we're on the subject of hardware, let's talk about another major change, the display. According to Mac Rumors, Apple's resolved production issues around a new display material that's going to debut with the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max. It's said to be more scratch resistant than ceramic shields, and it's going to feature an anti-reflective coating similar to Gorilla Glass armor on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. In other words, better outdoor visibility, less glare, and a smoother feel. If you've ever struggled to use an iPhone in sunlight, this could be a game changer. It's not clear if the prototype shown in the leak has this new glass, but some did point out reduced reflections in the photo. It's hard to say though. Internally, things are getting a serious upgrade too. The 17 Pro is expected to ship with Apple's A19 Pro chipset and 12 gigs of RAM, up from 8 gigs in the 16 Pro series. That should help future-proof the phone for AI features and intensive multitasking. Cooling has been improved as well. A leaked copper heat spreader suggests Apple's finally moving to a vapor chamber cooling system in the Pro models. That's something Android phones have been using for years, and it should reduce thermal throttling during gaming and 4K video editing. But here's the part I love, even though it doesn't really add anything functionally: thinner bezels. For the first time in years, all 4 iPhone 17 models are getting ultra thin bezels. The 16 Pro already held the record for the thinnest bezels on an iPhone ever, but now the base 17 and 17 are getting those thinner bezels as well. That means a unified front design across the range, something we haven't seen since the iPhone 13. Screen size is shifting too. The 17 and 17 Pro are both moving to 6.3 inches, the 17 Air is going to be 6.6 inches, and the Pro Max is a massive 6.9 inches. Nice. Now, as for display features, the regular 17 and 17 Air might get 120Hz this year, which is awesome to see, but it's possible Apple might restrict AOD to the Pro models purely through software, just so there's a slight display difference between the regular and Pro model. Classic Apple move. And finally, launch timing. Mark Gurman says Apple's aiming for the week of September 8th, with Tuesday the 9th being the likely keynote date, and this tracks with Apple's usual pattern: announce on Tuesday, pre-orders that Friday, and launch the following week. So we're just over a month away from finding out whether that bright orange is real, and whether the blurry LA photo actually gave us a first look at the 17 Pro. So what do you think? Is orange the color you've been waiting for? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.